evening and a very warm welcome to the news on Sansad TV, the show where we cover the top stories of the day in just 30 minutes. I'm Isha Shah. Let's get started with the headlines. Prime Minister Modi addresses election rallies in Himachal Pradesh. Congress poll manifesto pledges jobs and free electricity in the state. Nomination process begins in Gujarat with notification of the first phase of elections. By-elections announced for seats in 5 states, including Manipuri Lok Sabha seat in Uttar Pradesh. Strong winds in Delhi NCR brings slight improvement in air quality. Delhi and NCR still in severe category. Vice President addresses closing ceremony of the India Water Week in Noida. Lays stress on conservation of water and water resources. Calls for proactive steps to resolve interstate water disputes. And Iran admits to supplying Russia with drones. Iranian Foreign Minister insists that drone transfer took place before Moscow's war on Ukraine. And now, let's take a quick look at our Flash News segment. Ministry of Tourism to take part in World Travel Market in London from the 7th to 9th November 2022. Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri reviews construction of new Parliament building, says that work is progressing at a steady pace. Election Commission announces schedule for 5th December Assembly by-polls in 5 states and Manipuri Lok Sabha seat in Uttar Pradesh. Proliferation of nuclear and missile technologies is a matter of concern, asserts India in UN Security Council, reiterates support for denuclearization in Korean Peninsula. President Murmu concludes 2-day maiden visit to Sikkim, visits Char Dham Temple in Namchi district. Army bigwigs to brainstorm on emerging security and administrative aspects in Army Commanders Conference from the 7th of November. Prime Minister Modi applauds India Post Payments Bank for conducting India's first floating financial literacy camp in Dal Lake of Srinagar. Elon Musk says that no choice but to slash workforce as Twitter is losing over $4 million a day. Korean mourners gather across Seoul to grieve victims of Itaewon crash, strongly criticize the government. And CEO of Asian Hockey Federation, Mohammad Tayyab Ikram of Pakistan, elected the new president of the International Hockey Federation, succeeds India's Narinder Batra as full-time chief. And now, news from the poll-bound states of Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh. Nomination process for assembly elections in Gujarat has begun after the Election Commission issued a notification for the first phase of polls. Voting will be held in 89 assembly seats of Saurashtra, Kutch and South Gujarat in the first phase. 14th November is the last date for filing of nominations. Scrutiny of nominations will be carried out on the 15th of November, while 17th November is the last date for withdrawal of candidature. Notification for the second phase for 93 assembly seats will be issued on the 10th of November. Voting for the 182-member Gujarat Assembly will be held on 1st and 5th December, and the votes will be counted on the 8th of December. Moving on to poll-bound Himachal Pradesh now, where Prime Minister Modi asserted that the people of the state have made up their minds to retain the BJP in power. Addressing a poll rally in Sundarnagar in Mandi district, Prime Minister Modi said that rapid progress and a stable government were necessary in the hill state. He added that the votes that will be cast on the 12th of November are not just for the next 5 years, but will define the state's development journey for the next 25 years. Prime Minister Modi said that the people knew the BJP stood for stability, Seva Bhav, Sambhav, and accorded highest priority to development. He also targeted the Congress for ignoring the state's development.
देश की राजनीति में क्या फर्क पड़ता है? इतने छोटे राज्य की हैसियत क्या है? अरे होता है, चलता है, करो न करो कौन पूछता है भाई? बड़े बड़े राज्य होंगे, ज्यादा एमपी होंगे, उसकी तो आवाभगत होगी, हिमाचल की क्यों होगी? इसी सोच की वजह से कांग्रेस ने हिमाचल के विकास को कभी भी प्राथमिकता नहीं दी.
Meanwhile, the Congress party has promised 1 lakh jobs and 300 units of free power, among other SOPs, in its manifesto for the Himachal Pradesh polls. The party has also assured the people of reviving the old pension scheme, a ₹680 crores startup fund. The party has also promised ₹1,500 per month for women between 18 to 60 years of age. The Congress released its manifesto in the presence of Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel, AICC in charge for Himachal Pradesh Rajiv Shukla, and former PCC Chief Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu.
जो आप इस घोषणा पत्र को पढ़ेंगे उसमें हमने बहुत चीजों की व्यवस्था की है, जिसमें आपको सारी से भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त पारदर्शी प्रशासन हम देंगे. जो नौकरियों में जो है धांधली थी, पर्चे लीक हो रहे थे, उन सब की व्यवस्था के लिए कड़ाई से व्यवस्था की. खेती और बागवानी के लिए आयोग बनेगा और उस आयोग से तय होगी कीमतें. डेयरी विकास, पशुपालन, मत्स्य पालन तीनों को बढ़ाया जाएगा. हर घर में 4 गायों तक की खरीद पर सब्सिडी मिलेगी. पशु चारा के लिए विशेष अनुदान मिलेगा जो फॉडर है. नई पर्यटन नीति हमने बनाई है.
Now, by-poll to 1 Lok Sabha and 5 assembly seats will be held on the 5th of December, the Election Commission announced today. By-poll to the Mainpuri Lok Sabha seat, which fell vacant following the death of Samajwadi Party leader Mulayam Singh Yadav, will be held on the 5th of December. The Rampur Assembly seat in Uttar Pradesh is also going for the by-polls. The seat fell vacant following the disqualification of Samajwadi Party leader Mohammad Azam Khan. Sardar Shahar Assembly constituency in Rajasthan's Churu district fell vacant after the death of Congress MLA Bhavarlal Sharma on the 9th of October. Padampur in Odisha, Kurhani in Bihar and Bhanu Pratappur in Chhattisgarh are the other assembly seats where by-polls will be held. The counting of votes will be held on the 8th of December, along with the counting for the Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh assembly elections. Now, the first voter of independent India, 106-year-old Shyam Saran Negi, passed away today at his residence in Kalpa in Himachal Pradesh. He had exercised his right to vote for the 34th time on the 2nd of November. He had used postal ballot to cast his vote for the Himachal Assembly elections to be held on the 12th of November. In 1951, a young Shyam Saran Negi made history by casting his vote in Kalpa in Kinnaur district, becoming independent India's first voter. Since then, he had never missed voting. Expressing condolences, Prime Minister Modi said that Negi's outlook towards democracy will inspire the people of the country, especially the youth. Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister Jairam Thakur also condoled Negi's death.
ये बात हर देशवासी को, खास करके मेरे युवा मतदाताओं को, हर नागरिक को सदा सर्वदा प्रेरित करती रहेगी. मैं बहुत ही भावुक मन से परम आदरणीय श्याम सरन नेगी जी को सर झुका करके श्रद्धांजलि देता हूं. उनके परिजनों के प्रति अपनी संवेदनाएं व्यक्त करता हूं.
And news from the capital now, where strong winds slightly brought down the level of air pollution in Delhi NCR on Saturday morning. However, smoke continued to cover Delhi as the overall air quality remained in the severe category at 408. According to the Central Pollution Control Board, 24 of the 37 monitoring stations recorded the AQI in the severe category around 11 a.m. However, some areas where the AQI improved slightly from severe to very poor category were Anand Vihar, Mathura Road, Dilshad Garden, ITO, Lodi Road, Punjabi Bagh and Pusa. An AQI of about 400 is considered severe, which can affect healthy people and seriously impact those with existing illnesses. Moving on now, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar on Saturday addressed the closing ceremony of the 7th India Water Week at the India Expo Centre in Greater Noida. Underlining that natural resources like water and fuel should not be wasted, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar said, "We cannot be careless in exploiting the resources on a large scale." The Vice President said that the time has come to take proactive steps to resolve all interstate water disputes, as these are not in the interest of anyone and against the nation and the people.
That in the true spirit of federalism, time has come now that we take proactive initiatives to resolve interstate water disputes. These disputes are in favor of none and go against the very interest of the country and the people at large. I am sure with his sagacious approach and the experience he brings on the table, I expect positive results.
Vice President Dhankar also expressed concern over the depleting water resources in the country. He said the need of the hour is to rejuvenate our water bodies.
भारतीय संस्कृति में और ग्रामीण व्यवस्था में जोहड़ का बहुत बड़ा मतलब है। जोहड़ अब लुप्त होते जा रहे हैं। माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी अपने आदेश में कहा है, we must do everything to see that we recreate our water bodies in a significant manner, and that I'm sure will be highly impactful.
And a look now at some more news from across the nation. Prime Minister Modi on Saturday visited the Radha Swami Satsang in Bias near Amritsar. He met Baba Gurinder Singh Dhillon, the head of the sect. The Prime Minister also visited the community kitchen of the Dera. The Satsang, also known as Dera Baba Jaimal Singh, is located in Bias town near Amritsar. It has followers across the country, especially in Punjab, Haryana and Himachal Pradesh. Union Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav inspected two major infrastructure projects in Kashi, the constituency of Prime Minister Modi. A bridge is being built over the Ganga with 4 railway lines and a 6-lane highway running through it. The Kashi railway station is also being modernized at a cost of Rs 350 crores. The expansion of civilizations is not possible without rivers, and the Ganga is a symbol of India's cultural heritage, said Union Minister of Jal Shakti Gajendra Singh Shekhawat on Saturday. Speaking at an event to mark Ganga Utsav 2022, the minister said, "Ganga is not just our national river, but also our cultural heritage." The Delhi High Court dismissed a petition seeking summons to Bollywood actor Vivek Oberoi, his father Suresh Oberoi, and the Delhi-based firm Yashi Multimedia Private Limited for allegedly cheating an entertainment company in 2003. The court said this allowed the relief not only on the ground that the petitioner had resorted to civil remedies, but also because that the complaint would not attract commission of the offence of cheating under the IPC. The ED arrested gangster and politician and former BSP MLA Mukhtar Ansari's son Abbas Ansari in a money laundering case against his father and family, officials said. Abbas is a Suhail Dev Bharatiya Samaj Party MLA from Mausadar constituency in Uttar Pradesh. ED had attached 7 immovable assets of Mukhtar Ansari worth over 1 crore rupees. And time now for a short break in the bulletin. Lots more coming up on the other side. Do stay tuned.
The defense production and export promotion policy clearly stipulates the target as 35,000 crores by 2025. We have to move very fast.
The countries are willing to partner because the whole world is looking towards Indian capability in defense sector, which is rising, as you said, sunrise sector.
Desire for India to move rapidly in the field of defense production and exports with Atmanirbhar Bharat.
क्या आप किसी कानूनी समस्या से घिरे हैं? नहीं पता क्या करें? क्या कहता है कानून? क्या है आपके कानूनी अधिकार? समझिए कानून की बारीकियों को मेरे साथ कानून की पाठशाला में, सिर्फ संसद टीवी पर।
Welcome back. Let's take a look now at all the latest from the Russia-Ukraine war front. Iran has finally acknowledged supplying Russia with drones. Iranian Foreign Minister insisted that the transfer came before Moscow's war on Ukraine. Russia has been using Iranian-made drones to target infrastructure and civilian targets in Ukraine. Till now, Iranian officials had been denying arming Russia in its war on Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky thanked the G7 nations for announcing a coordination mechanism to help rebuild Ukraine's shattered energy infrastructure. The move was announced at a meeting of the foreign ministers of the G7 and Australia in Germany on Friday, where they reiterated their support for Ukraine for as long as it takes. Zelensky also lauded foreign leaders for being cautious of talks with Russia, stating that the global community was aware of Russia's bad faith approach to talks. The United States has accused Russia of wanting to freeze Ukraine into submission since it has failed to triumph on the battlefield. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken said this on Friday after G7 foreign ministers met in Germany. The statement comes amid Moscow's move to evacuate thousands of civilians out of the Russian-occupied Kherson region. The United States has asserted that its support for Ukraine would remain unwavering and unflinching following next Tuesday's midterm congressional elections. US National Security Advisor said that US President Joe Biden was committed to bipartisan cooperation under any scenario to keep economic, humanitarian, and security aid flowing. The statement came as the US announced another $400 million worth of military aid for Kiev. Russian President Vladimir Putin stated that conflict with Ukraine was inevitable, suggesting that Poland has ambitions to annex Ukrainian territories. Speaking at an event during the Unity Day celebrations, Putin said that Russia has always been treating Ukrainians with respect and warmth and continues to do so. Justifying his move to invade Ukraine in February this year, Putin accused Western countries of interfering in Ukraine's affairs both directly and covertly in the last decade. And now, news from some other parts of the globe. World leaders, diplomats, campaigners and scientists are descending on Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt next week for talks on tackling climate change. But experts are warning people not to expect any miracles that could prove to be huge steps in curbing global warming. Let's find out why.
Each year there are high hopes for the two-week United Nations climate gathering and almost inevitably disappointment when it doesn't deliver another landmark pact like one agreed 2015 in Paris. But that has been a different era. It was marked by a spirit of cooperation between the world's two biggest polluters, the United States and China, as well as the global realization that failure to reach an agreement would put humanity on a self-chosen track to oblivion. This November, it is a different geopolitical scenario. A devastating war in Ukraine, skyrocketing energy and food prices, and growing enmity between the West and Russia and China make for difficult conditions at the gathering that requires cooperation and consensus. Scientists are almost concerned about the global warming than 3 decades ago, when governments first came together to discuss the problem, because the pace of the warming in the past decade is 33% faster than in the 1990s. Greenhouse gas emissions are rising. Tangible impacts from climate change are already being felt around the world. But there is some progress. Before Paris, the world was heading for 4.5 degrees Celsius of warming by the end of the century compared to the pre-industrial times. Recent forecasts have that down to 2.6 degrees Celsius, thanks to the measures taken from the firm commitments government have already made. But now, with prices for oil, coal and natural gas rising since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, some countries have responded by trying to tap new sources of fossil fuel. This has raised concerns about the government's backsliding on their commitments to cut emissions, including the agreement at the last year's climate talks to phase down the use of coal and methane. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
All right, so now for the first time, tech giants have joined forces to make their smart home devices work together. Up until now, smart speakers, lights or shades were siloed in their respective ecosystems, but a new interoperability standard called Matter could bring down those barriers. Here's a report.
Matter is for all of us, for all brands and platforms, all over the world. That's what matters.
This is the launch of Matter, a new interoperability communication standard for smart home devices like lights, speakers and fans. For the first time, big names like Apple, Amazon, Google, Samsung and more have come together to make their smart home devices interoperable and reduce the fragmentation of the market. The Matter standard is a language that sits on top of all the different protocols and makes it easy for developers and consumers to connect all of those together. Developed by the Connectivity Standards Alliance, Matter was made open source 2 years ago and is now launching its first version. Matter certified devices will make smart home ecosystems like Apple, HomeKit, Amazon, Alexa, Google Home or Philips Hue compatible with all ecosystems, allowing consumers to pick devices across all brands for their home. So with Matter, consumers will be able to ask Siri of Apple to turn on their Alexa of Amazon lights and turn up the heating thanks to their Nest, that is Google, thermostat. Most brands that are part of the alliance announced that they would update smart home devices already sold to make them retroactively compatible with the new Matter standard. For now, Matter 1.0 supports just 8 categories of 190 devices: bridges, controllers, door locks, HVAC, which is heating, ventilation and air conditioning controls, lighting, electrical, media devices, safety and security sensors, and window coverings and shades. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
And a look now at some more global news in our World Wrap segment. A fire in a cafe in the Russian city of Kostroma killed 15 people and injured 5 others on Saturday. The blaze erupted in the early hours after a flare gun was used during a dispute. Rescuers evacuated 250 people. 5 people were slightly injured and received medical assistance. The roof of the cafe collapsed during the fire. Police are looking for the person who used the flare gun. Kostroma is a riverside city located to the north of Moscow. Campaigning for Malaysia's general elections formally started on Saturday. The highly competitive race will see the world's longest-serving coalition seeking to regain its dominance 4 years after a shocking electoral loss. The November 19th election will determine if Barisan Nasional or National Front coalition can make a strong comeback or whether political reformers can secure another surprise win that will see their leader Anwar Ibrahim become Prime Minister. The PMC Wagner Center, funded by billionaire Russian businessman Yevgeny Prigozhin, officially opened in St. Petersburg on Friday. The center is designed to strengthen Russia's defense capabilities. It will house developers, IT specialists and startups. Prigozhin is known to be close to Russian President Vladimir Putin and is also known as Putin's chef. His Wagner group plays a key role in the fighting in Ukraine and has been accused of war crimes in Africa and Syria. South Korea's military says North Korea fired 4 short-range ballistic missiles into the sea, adding to its barrage of weapons demonstrations this week that has raised tensions in the region. The missiles flew around 130 kilometers toward the northwestern sea. The United States flew 2 B-1B supersonic bombers on Saturday over South Korea on the final days of the joint drills. Italy's new right-wing-led government closed its ports to rescue ships run by humanitarian groups as 4 vessels with more than 1,000 migrants continue to push for access to a safe port. Interior Minister told reporters that it will allow a German migrant rescue ship to arrive in Sicily to evacuate minors and those with medical emergencies, but that the ship must then return to international waters with the rest of the migrants. And time now for all the latest from the world of sports. England have qualified for the semi-final of the T20 World Cup. England defeated Sri Lanka by 4 wickets with 2 balls to spare. Defending champions and hosts Australia failed to qualify for semis. The 3 remaining matches of Group 2 of the T20 World Cup will be played tomorrow. India will take on Zimbabwe in the last group match. Though India are currently placed number 1 in the group, both semi-final spots from the group are still open. World number 1 Carlos Alcaraz retired from his Paris Masters quarter-final with an abdominal injury. Alcaraz lost the first set and was trailing 3-1 in a second set tie-break when he decided to stop. Novak Djokovic charged into the last 4 of the Paris Masters with a 6-0, 6-3 win. The 21-time Grand Slam champion will face 5th seed Stefanos Tsitsipas for a place in the final. Sabalenka has reached the semi-finals of the WTA Finals from the Nancy Richey group. Sabalenka overcame Jessica Pegula 6-3, 7-5 in the final group stage match to reach the last 4. Maria Sakkari overcomes Ons Jabeur 6-2, 6-3 to claim a 100% win in her group. Interestingly, Jabeur needed to beat the Greek star in straight sets to deny Sabalenka a berth in the last 4. And with that, it's a wrap of the bulletin this weekend. Do stay tuned to Sansad TV for more news and updates round the clock. Do also share your feedback with us on our social media platforms. Thank you for being here. Good night.